Hey, God's desire for me. Hey, Deborah Garrett. How are you this evening? Welcome in, and thanks for being here. And I want to say hello to the replay crew. We have a really strong replay crew, and I appreciate your time. Can y'all hear me okay? How's the volume? Whew. I am sipping some tea tonight. Um, what is that? Um, Oh, it's a mix. It's a mixture. It's got some, let's see, Lady Grey tea, some red tea, some goldenrod, mint, and blue butterfly pea in my tea for tonight. And it's really good. I was afraid it was not going to be that great, but the mint really set it off. And it's yummy. It's yummy. Um, If it's nice and warming and it feels really good. Really calming, soothing and calming. So yeah. How was your day today? I had a lazy day today. I've been crocheting. I'm working on a cardigan and I'm a little bit sad because I'm not going to be able to finish it today like I had hoped because I ran out of yarn. So I'm going to have to run over to Joann's tomorrow and pick up some yarn to finish it. And I'm so close, so close. But I was working on the sleeves, and this is one sleeve, and it's about halfway done. Um, it's almost wide enough, but not quite. And then this is the other sleeve, it's finished. So once I get the yarn, I will finish that and get it in the mail. Hey, Mike, how are you? How's your day going? The weather's beautiful. The weather is absolutely gorgeous here. It was in the 80s today. I think it was 80, I want to say 86 was our high, but I could be wrong about that. Let's see. No, it was 80. Wow, it was cooler than I thought. So, yeah, the high was 80, the low was 59, 54. And the low for tonight, oh my goodness gracious, is 46 tonight. It looks like it's going to get down to 38 on Wednesday. Wow. I'm going to be in the house. I am not going outside. That's crazy, man. But it's definitely fall. Definitely giving fall vibes. So, uh, it's always doing that to me. Oh, frost. Is this early for y'all, Mike, or is it mm, is it early or is it on schedule? I guess it's about right for y'all. Our first frost date is sometime in the middle of November, more or less. So, I suspect we're right on track. But yeah, yeah. No, we had snow the 13th last year. Oh, okay. So it's not early. It's on track, maybe even a little bit behind. Weather for Fayetteville. Conditions are clear. Temperature of 56 and the wind is blowing from northeast at 6 miles per hour and the current humidity is 55%. I keep forgetting that you're in Fayetteville. God's desire for me. I keep forgetting that for some reason. Hey, Bridget, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, did you see the short that I put out today? I have that squash. That thing is this big. It's huge. When I put my hand up next to it, I'm like, this thing is huge. And it's still on the vine, and the vine is still green. And I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it out there and see how big it'll get. And the funny thing about it is I really I don't know how I want to cook it. I don't know how I want to eat it. I've got two on the table right now. There's some more out there. I've been pulling up vines left and right because I'm like, this is just, it's too much. It's too much. I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll stop whining. But I'm not complaining about food for real, for real. I am not complaining about food. So I feel like I've shown y'all this before, but I don't know that I really have. So, anyways, this is the cardigan that I was working on, and I got too many stitches in it. I'm gonna have to write out the pattern because um I got too many stitches. But that's the front, and um there's the back of it. And it turned out really well. I love the yarn. The yarn is beautiful. And I've got the sleeves mostly done. And once I get the sleeves done, I just need to attach them. And it's long. It comes down past my knees. So it's really long. I probably should have cut it off a good 10 inches. If I had cut it off 10 inches, I would have had plenty to finish it. I don't know what possessed me to make it so long, but hey, I'm not taking it out. And because it's side to side, you do it from side to side and you do the front and the back at the same time. You can't take it out. I can't make it any shorter. So I can't like take out any and make it any shorter. You have to take the whole thing out and start again, which is just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go on over to Joann's and see if I can find some more of that yarn. Oh, I'm going to be spinning as I'm listening tonight. My love to you all. Okay. Thanks, Bridget, for coming in, and thanks for playing it while you're spinning. That's something I want to learn to do. I'm going to have to probably take a class or something, learn how to spin. Thanks, God, desire for me. She said, I love that color. I do too. That color is something. It's beautiful to me. It's a Caron, uh, Caron Jumbo um ombre. So yeah. And the color is white water. Put it in the right way so you can see it. The color is white water. And yeah, it's a really pretty color. I like it a lot. I wasn't even looking for that yarn when I went there. I was actually getting yarn for another project. But when I saw that yarn, I was like, oh, I gotta have that. And so I picked it up, and well, yeah. The rest is history. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do in between times. Not really. Um, hey, GT Junior, how are you? Thanks for coming in. You, how's your day going? What are you working on? Did you get the chicken coop finished? Are you still working on it? You said, didn't I see on your video where you guys got snow? I think I did. I can't remember for sure. I got the cotton ripple cake by Karen. Oh, I love cotton. Mmm. I love working with cotton. I just love the feel of it. Working with it. So yeah. Hey, Gulf Coast Granny, how are you tonight? It's good to see you. I was just thinking about that. I want to I've got a bunch of yarn. Um I got a bunch of yarn. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I was just painting in the tar for the roof. I had it all over my hands. Oh, okay. Make sure you do a good cleanup on that, GT Junior. But I'm glad that you're getting it done. I pulled up more walking onion bulbs. Ooh, GT Junior. Mike said he pulled you more walking onion bulbs. Thank goodness for the internet. I was stressing out because it wasn't coming off. Oh. That, yeah, thank goodness for the internet. Everything that you need is right at your, excuse me, right at your fingertips. I also have this book. I don't know if I can reach it. Let me see if I can reach it. Oh, I have this book called Home Improvement for Dummies. I won this in a live, and it has everything in here. Every little thing. If something happens in the house, invariably it will be in this book. And I'm trying to decide if I want to keep the book, if I want to give it to my one of my sons, because a lot of the stuff in here I've used before. Um, I've I've had to fix those kinds of things before, so I already have those skills. But my sons really haven't done a lot of home improvement or, that kind of stuff around the house. And I was thinking, they might need it. They might need a book like that as a reference guide. Although these kids nowadays could just go to YouTube University for everything. So yeah, but I do like having a hard copy book around to look up stuff, even if it's just to check and see if my thought process is correct. It's like I think this is the way you do it, but let me check the see what the book says. Um, my granddaughter Millie saw my ruffle hat and asked me to make her one. I'm working on the last row now. Okay, nice. I saw this hat this woman made. I might make it. It was like a bucket hat, but instead of just coming down a little bit, it was like really long. And so you could flip it up. It was really long. And I liked it a lot. It was like it had the regular crown and the regular hat part. The sides were regular, but then when it gets to the bucket part, instead of just going a couple of inches, it went like 4 inches long. And I was like, ooh, that's nice. And so I was thinking I might make that hat. I just need to figure out what colors I want to use, what yarn I want to use. I've got a lot of pieces of I've got a lot of these small ones around that I could make it out of, but I don't um it's not going to make the hat. So I need to find some yarn that'll make the whole hat, or either find a couple of colors that I want to put together. And I'm thinking about these two colors, but I'm not sure that I really like them. I'd like them in a hat. I think they go good together, but I'm not sure I like them in a hat. So we'll see about that. But in the other thing I was working on last week, was it last week? I don't even remember what day it was. My days are all mixed up. Um, this is a granny hat, a granny stitch hat, and I love it. I've been making these granny hats, these granny stitch hats, and I have really been loving them. The only thing that I don't like about them is this. I hate that. All those ends to weave in. Hey, Dreeny, how are you? Girl, are you on TikTok? I think you are, and if you are, please follow me on TikTok, Dreeny. I've been across the road there checking out things. That's where I saw it, Coco's Granny. It was on TikTok, but it might be on Ravelry too. Haven't been over there lately, but I need to. I need to take some pictures and post some pictures over in Ravelry because I hate when I make things and don't um take pictures of them and have a record that I've made them. Yeah. How are you doing tonight, Janie? What are you up to these days? What's on your hook and what's in your cup? I told them earlier I'm drinking tea. It's a mix up of several different teas. Lately, I've been using my large measuring cup to make tea in. I have a large Pyrex measuring cup, and what I'll do is I'll put 2 or 3 tea bags in there, and then I'll add some loose tea in with it. Oh my goodness. I can't how anyways, I'll mix them all up and then different flavors. And I've been liking mixing up the tea flavors. I cannot do the invisible join in the right place. How do you get it to be in the exact place? I mean, I can do the invisible join and I do use it a lot, but the thing is, how do you get it to be at the right place? And especially like this where it's at the end of a row. So I'm gonna have to practice that. I guess I'm just gonna have to practice it because I've heard people say that before. God's desire for me, and I think that's probably the answer. I can weave these ends in. It won't take me that long at all, but I just need to have a moment to sit down. In squirrel news, I got one obsessed with my toes. Boops my toes with his nose. I'm kind of weirded out. I would be weirded out too. I saw on TikTok, and I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I saw on TikTok the other day this guy had a squirrel in his yard and something happened with the tooth, its tooth. I think they might have teeth that continuously grow. I'm not sure, but anyway, um he caught it. He got a live trap. He baited the trap. He caught the squirrel. He took it to a vet. They did some dental work on that tooth to get it back in the right way that it needed to be. And then he took it back home and released it. But it was so cool to see him do that. Yeah, they grow. And what I think what happened is one of the two in the front grew and didn't get um ground down by them eating nuts and things, and so the squirrel was having a hard time um thriving. It couldn't really get grab the food, hold the food, eat the food like he needed to. And so the guy noticed that something was going on with his little squirrel friend, and he was that thing. Yeah. And so he caught it, but I thought it was a cool little story, and they showed it on yeah, over there across the road. That's what Sandrine says. Across the road. Okay, Mike. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but like I was saying, I really enjoy making these, and I love the pattern with the color changing. So I have to work on that, doing that invisible join. This is a really cute hat. I don't know why I had never I this is I had never made a granny stitch hat before I did the 30 days of 30 days of hats. Never had done that before. And it's I really like making it. I made several of them. We're supposed to get the temps in the 40s this week. I'm so happy. Yeah, it was only 80 today. Oh my goodness, my phone needs charging. It was only 80 today, and the low is supposed to be 46 tonight. I think it's currently 54 degrees, and we're supposed to get a low of 38 on Wednesday. So Whew, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it. This cooler weather has been really nice. Um, it's not cool enough to slow to. I mean, it's cool enough to slow some things down, but it's not cool enough to really, stop things from growing. Um, um, but it's been cool enough that it's nice outside, except for the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are still doing their thing, but other than that, it's cool enough that it's nice outside. I've never done the Granny Stitch hat. I recently finished three Granny Stitch cardigans. Okay. Only in the South will you hear the words, it was only 80 today. That's right. It was only 80 today. When it's been in the 90s and hundreds for months and it gets up to just 80, like it was like 86 yesterday. It's like in the low 80s, it barely made 80 today. Yeah. That's something to talk about. It's like it's sweater weather here. What you talking about? It's jacket weather. It's cold. What are you talking about? That's funny. Yeah, I've never done the Granny Stitch hat, and it took me a minute to figure out the increases on it, but it's not hard to do once you figure it out. I probably don't do it right, um, but I like the way it comes out. I like the way it looks. So yeah, but I probably don't do it exactly right. Bella's sitting here beside me. Actually, she's laying here beside me, fast asleep. She's like, Mom, I had a rough day. We were outside for a good bit of the day, so she's probably tired. Weather for Anchorage. Conditions are fair with a temperature of 41 degrees Fahrenheit. 41. Woo, woo. The wind is blowing from the east at 0 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 70%. Wow, that's cool. Cool, as in 41 degrees. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the northeast at 8 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 64%. So it's 73. So it's still warm there. It's still warm. Yeah. But still nice. It's a nice change. That's what I'm saying. Lower humidities and lower temperatures is a nice change from the stinking heat that we've had all summer long. Um, it's really a nice change. Look at that humidity go though. Still, 64 is better than 80. Yeah. And at night too? Yeah. There's some there's some weird thing with temperature and humidity. I forget what it is. When the humidity is higher than the temperature, something happens with the dew point. I don't know. See, I'm trying to remember those rules. We'll be getting down into the 30s. No, 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 no. No. Yeah, we got one day, Wednesday. We are supposed to get into 38, and I'm not gonna go outside that day. That night. It's at night, so I just won't be going outside that night. And it probably won't be for but about an hour, if that long. Those first low temperatures, they don't last long. It'll dip down to that and it almost immediately start coming back up. So it's not really long enough to do any damage to your plants or anything like that. She said, She's like, heck yeah, it is. She says, I'm tired of feeling like I'm about to spontaneously combust. Tell me about it. Mm. So yeah. So I was out in the garden today and I got the butterfly peas are still blooming. Once those things start blooming, they just keep going. They keep going. And so I think I got 14 blooms off of today. And I just take them off and put them into my dehydrator. I don't even turn the thing on. I just put them on the trays and let them dehydrate on those trays. Before I jar them up, I'll turn the dehydrator on for maybe an hour, just to make sure that they're completely dry, and then I'll jar them up. But I let them pretty much naturally dry in there. Yeah, and they just keep going and keep going and keep going. And there's some seed pods out there too, so I'm gonna have some seeds. I love that song. I think it's funny. I love that song. That song is from Madagascar. I think it's from Madagascar, one of those kids' movies. Um, but that squash, that thing was huge, and it's still giving. How do y'all cook those squash? Do you like them? How do you cook them? To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of squash at all. I did like the candy roaster squash. The Kushaw is okay. I prefer the candy roaster. So I'm like trying to figure out the best way to cook it since I have so much of it. Um, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna saute it. Just dice it up and saute it until it's tender enough for me. I don't like mine soft anyway, so it's not gonna take too long to cook it. Um, but yeah, I guess I could make a soup out of it. I thought about making a soup out of it because I had a really good squash soup. Who was it? Panera used to have a nice squash soup. Haven't had it in a couple of years, but it was nice. It was nice and creamy. So that would be a good winter recipe for it. But I was just trying to figure out some other ways to cook it because I know I'm going to get sick of it if I cook it the same way every time. And I have two on the table right now. I've given away, it's like I've given away three of them. And I still have a few in the garden. I've got that one big one in the garden. I'm not even sure how many are in the garden because are the leaves are so big that they cover up the ground. I'm forever cutting it back to keep it confined to the beds that it's growing in because otherwise it would grow all over my entire backyard. It just keeps growing and growing. I'm gonna send you a Korean melon. Oh, okay. Did you like it? I bought one at the grocery store and I have to say I may go back and get another one and let it sit for a few days. It was very, very crunchy, and I think I would like it if it was a little bit less crunchy. Um, it was very, very crunchy. Um, ooh, it would make a great salsa. I think it's also would be really good in a salad. If you dice it up and put it in a salad, it would be a great crunch for a salad. But just to eat it by itself, it was okay. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Put it that way. I didn't love it. But I did like it, and I'm telling you, I ate it. Yeah, yeah. It reminded me of a crunchy honeydew, but not quite as sweet. Mine wasn't as sweet, but like I said, I bought mine at the grocery store. We have a Asian, actually it's not Asian, it's an international market here. We have an international market here, and that when I went in there, I was looking for horseradish root, which they didn't have, but they had Korean melon. And I was like, well, let me get one of these and try it. And I did save the seeds from it. But yeah, it did kind of remind me of a honeydew, but crunchy, super crunchy. And I thought this would be really great in a salad. And it, like I said, it wasn't quite as sweet as a honeydew. But and a honeydew is my favorite melon. Is my all-time favorite. I'm not a big cantaloupe fan. I will eat them, but it's if I had a choice between cantaloupe and honeydew, I pick honeydew every time. Yeah, always. So, but yeah, I think growing them, I'm probably gonna grow some of the Korean melon next year too, and see um, um, about that. I The one I got had a soft spot, so I just cut it out. I peeled it too because I didn't know if you could eat the skin. You probably can eat the skin. I did notice that um, there is a little layer underneath the skin that didn't have very much flavor to it. So I peeled mine too. Actually, I peeled half of it, and then the other half I just sliced it and ate it out of the peel. And that's when I noticed that when you get close to the skin, there's a layer that doesn't really have much flavor to it. Um, so, but the skin is not that thick. You probably could eat the skin as well. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I did like it, and I would definitely grow it. Yeah, I think it will be really nice in a salad. Um, just for texture. Yeah. I mean, for texture and for taste, because it has a nice taste. But then, so would the candy roasters, the candy roaster squash. I think that would be really great in a salad. I liked that one raw. Um, the only problem with that is that squash does have that kind of latexy when you cut it. When you cut it, when you peel it, it has that. I don't know what it's called that, but it can get on your hands and it's hard to get off. It does have that, so you might not want to um, eat much of it raw. I'm not sure what how that will. I mean, I don't think it will bother you but it does have that. I mean, there's other things that have that same kind of stuff. Other foods. Hi, Lydia. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. How's your day going? Or should I say night or evening? Going. You get less if you let it cure. Okay, so maybe that was it. Maybe it was because I didn't let mine cure. I couldn't let mine cure, Mike, because the bugs got to it. And I had to, it was like I had to salvage what I could salvage and eat and eat it in a hurry. I had a salad the other day with cooked acorn squash and sliced pears. Oh, it was delicious. How did they cook the squash? That's what I didn't get this year. There's a city, a town building here that has. I need to go down there. I really need to go down there. They have at least a dozen pecan trees. They have um, a persimmon, one of the I don't know which ones, but one of the big persimmon, not the American persimmon, but one of the Asian persimmon trees. And they've got two pear trees out there and some other fruit trees. I'm not even sure what all fruit trees. Um, oh, dealing with knee problems. I see a specialist on Wednesday to see if I need surgery. Well, I hope all goes well. Maybe they have a solution for you and things will get better for you. But anyways, there's this building. It's a city building. Um, and they have all these trees out there. And usually I'll go down there and pick up some fruit. I'll pick some pears off the tree and I'll pick up some pecans. there. But I didn't do it this year. I need to go down there and see if there's anything still left down there. And it may not be anything down there, but I love those pears they have there. They're hard pears, and I love hard pears, and it's hard to get them. Um, and I don't understand why, because those trees are around. People have those trees in their yard. You would think somebody would sell them to a farmer's market or something. So I don't know. Weather for Nebraska City. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 44 degrees Fahrenheit. 44. Whew. The wind is blowing from the east at 5 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 55%. Okay. These low humidities are something. And it gives me a chills. Take a branch and root it. I thought about that, Mike. I really thought about just going and getting some cuttings. Um, Not so sure I could root it, but I could try. It's like I could try. Yeah, I need to hey, Kitty Craft Corner. How are you? Hey LP. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I need to get out in my yard. I need to trim some bushes back. I need to do some pruning on some of my fruit trees. I need to find out if now is the time to prune them. Things are dropping leaves. My cypress, I have a big cypress tree in my backyard. And it's turning. It's finally turning. They turn a orange, a burnt orange in the fall, and then drop all of their needles. And mine is turning now, and so it's always so pretty. I love that tree. Um, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Actually, I've had a really good week. It's so funny. I had to do a reset on my diet because I had gotten off kilter and was just eating everything that I wasn't supposed to eat. And so I did a little reset on my diet and feel so much better. The All of the fluids um, have that I had a lot of water retention, and that has gotten so much better. My joints feel better. I'm not achy like I was. I'm moving a whole lot better, and I'm like, all it took was a little bit of a reset. Get yourself back on track. But when I'm on the road, I don't worry so much about my diet because I know that I'm going to be eating out and I don't really have any control over how things are prepared. And so, I mean, I do the best I can, but I try to not stress about it. But I'm telling you, between my ankles and my hands and my knees, the swelling gets really bad. So, um, but now that I'm back at home and I've gotten, my reset, I did my reset. I'm back on track with my eating. I cut out all of the gluten. Yes. Most of the carbs, not all the carbs, but most of the carbs, but the gluten for sure, because that makes a big difference. I feel so much better. Um, my gallbladder was acting up over the weekend. Pain is gone now, but woo, I almost decided it was time to have it taken out this time. Yeah, that's a no for me. So that's why I keep telling myself I need to keep myself eating on track because I don't want nothing taken out. Nothing taken out. I may have a little procedure done on my hip. I'm not sure. I'm going to go and get evaluated on it because I have a little bit of scar tissue that I think that can deal with. Exactly. Nobody got time for that. Um, but I think, and it's an outpatient procedure, and there's no only local anesthesia. There's no, I mean, it's nothing. They don't put you under or anything like that. It's just, right there at the spot. So it's not nothing major, but it may help relieve the pain in my hip. Um, and right now, I feel like I don't need to do it because I'm not having any pain. It's the only time I feel like I need it is when I'm having the pain. And when I'm having the pain, it's like, well, you know why you're hurting. You're hurting because you're not eating right. It's like Mike says, I'm glad I had mine removed. I felt so much better once it was removed. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. If I'm going through something, I definitely will reevaluate. But my answer is no. It's like the answer is no. There's a song that says that the answer is no. Uh, Fun fact, my heat tolerance went up, supposed to be the opposite. Your heat tolerance went up after your what heat tolerance, Mike? You got to tell me more because I'm not trying to understand that. Your heat tolerance for hot food or for hot weather? I don't want your gallbladder removed. Trust me. No, you don't. I wish I had just cleaned up my diet and started my health journey years ago. God's desire for me says Poppy is going to have a knee replacement sometime next year, so I can't be bothered with health problems right now. Okay, Gulf Coast Granny, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. um, how many times do we do that as moms, as wives, as women? Um, put off our own health for everybody else in the family. It's like I ain't got time to be sick right now because of this, and this. Yeah, I get it. So your gallbladder. Okay, wait a minute. Wow, Gulf Coast Granny. Sorry to hear that. Feeling like this live was meant for me to hear. My gallbladder has been acting up too. I think I have bursitis or something in my shoulder. Okay, yeah, bursitis is something. Um, um, LP. It's sometimes it's hard to get down to get to narrow down what the problem really is. I do know that I do have some bursitis in my hip, but the burst when I went to physical therapy, what we found out is that the bursa itself was not causing me the major problem. What was causing me the major problem was my my alignment was off. And so what we did was we worked really hard on um, strengthening my core muscles to do what they were supposed to be doing so that the muscles that were compensating for my weak core could get some relief. And so it was muscle weakness in one area and muscle overuse in another area. And so what we did is we worked to strengthen the muscles that were not working properly so that the ones that were compensating and overworking and causing pain um, could heal, could take a break and heal. And it made a world of difference. I mean, my physical therapist said, I'm going to give you a cane. And she had me walking with the cane. The cane helped me to ease the amount of pressure on the one side so that the muscles on the other side, which had been lazy, could get stronger. And it took about, I want to say it took about 8 weeks, but I can tell you I have really my core strength is better, and that hip doesn't hurt like it did. I still have bursitis over there, but the pain wasn't coming from the bursitis; it was coming from something else. And so it could be something like that with your shoulder. Um, if there's another muscle, so see if you can get your doctor to refer you to a physical therapist, and they may be able to find out to narrow down to what's really going on and find a solution for you. They may not. I'm not saying that they will, but I did find that there was another solution. And I was resigned to just living with the pain. I've been in pain. And I've had chronic pain for so long that I'm just pretty much used to it. all the time. And then when it went away, I was like, whoa, nothing hurts today. It's so weird to get up and nothing hurt. Okay, Mike said gallbladder removed and I can now tolerate more hot and spicy food. Oh, okay. That's that's good though, Mike. The thing about your gallbladder removal, and y'all just ignore me when I start talking like this because I can't help it. I read a lot and I watch a lot of stuff and I find out a lot of things and I like to share the information with people. And so I'll go off on these tangents. But the thing about your gallbladder removal is the gallbladder actually stores the bile. It doesn't create the bile. Is that correct? It's more of a storage compartment. So it's not like your body doesn't have the bile. Your body's still creating it. Isn't it created by the liver? Is it the liver that creates the bile? Y'all gonna have to correct me if I get it wrong. But anyway, yeah. And so, but the thing of it is your body's still producing it. It just doesn't store it anymore. So even though some people can't have spicy foods after their gallbladder is out, it's not because of the bile problem. It's because of something else. So yeah, all of the times. All of the times. Exactly. Yeah, I think what you were talking about, Gulf Coast Granny, is all of the times a mama never has time to be sick. I did that a lot. My mom did too. Janet, hey Janet, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. After I had it removed, everyone said no spice for you, but I could eat habanero peppers, no heat to me. Oh, there you go. But Mike, you like spicy food anyway, and so yeah, I don't know that I've ever had this. It hurt like, ooh, Saturday night. Now swelling pain down my arm to a little tingling in my. I don't even know what I did, honey. Let me just tell you, I've had this pain in my right ankle and I don't know what caused it. I didn't do anything to it, but it has hurt me. It's been a good minute now and I didn't do anything. I did absolutely nothing. And it's like the only thing that I can say is that maybe I wasn't wearing good shoes. Maybe I was wearing sandals a lot. And so what I just put on better shoes. And so now it's like, even though I hardly ever wear shoes in the house, but so I was barefoot and wearing sandals. And I was like, this is crazy. And so now I'm just putting on better shoes more of the time. If I go outside, I will not go outside in sandals. I have to put on some better shoes. And it's slowly but surely getting better. So one of the things you may have inadvertently slept on it wrong, or you may have, reached and done something that pulled it. It didn't hurt at the time, but it maybe overextended it, or something. I don't know. It could be a lot of different things, but I hope you can get to the bottom of it and feel better. Now, one of the things that causes me swelling and pain is diet. If I eat gluten, gluten sets me off. If I eat too many carbs, carbs set me off. I will have pain and swelling. Like I was saying earlier in the night, getting back home, getting off the carbs, doing my reset. My reset is basically beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I don't eat a lot of veggies. I don't not eat a lot of fruits. I don't eat much of anything other than beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I mean, it's not really that. It's really low carb. Um, and I do it for 3 days for a reset, and then I add the veggies back in. But the what I'm doing is I'm eliminating the grains. And when I eliminate the grains, immediately I see a difference. When I eliminate the gluten, immediately I see a difference. So And so I know, I know that if I'm yeah, I know that if I'm having that kind of swelling, yeah. And it's amazing because I think I probably dropped, I was looking at the numbers. I think I dropped 5 pounds in 3 days. It's nothing but fluid. It's nothing but fluid. But that 5 pounds was pain. And once it's gone, it's like, whew, such a relief. Let me see. Tomorrow is 5 years since I survived a heart attack. That was my once per decade allowed health problems. I still have 5 to go until I can get sick. Look, go cause granny. Okay, I'm not. You can't get sick. You're allowed to get sick, but you can't get sick. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm gonna need you to take care of yourself so you don't get sick. Ooh, super hot affects me like a jalapeno pepper affects the normal person. Well, it depends on the jalapeno because the last jalapenos I had were super hot. And I said, no, 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 no. Mike's chaotic garden. Let's see. Now I get it. I was thinking the heat from the weather in almost Canada. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't take temperature heat. Mike says it's comfy 74 to 76 degrees, any hotter, and I'm miserable. Yeah. It just depends. One of the things that you do when you live in the South is you learn how to be cool, to be hot, and to be cool while being hot. You just can't do as much. I just put it that way. When it gets really super hot, I'm not going to be doing very much at all. If I'm doing anything, I'm going to be doing it in air conditioning. I'm definitely not going to be doing it in the heat. And even in air conditioning, like I haven't turned on my oven since probably May because it's not worth it to heat up the house. And so I'm cooking everything either on the stove top, in the air fryer, in a crock pot. I do have a toaster oven, but I didn't even pull it down to cook anything. If it can't go in the microwave, it's just not worth eating it until it gets cooler. Now it's cool enough that I feel like I can, pop something in the oven. Like maybe roast one of these squash or something like that. Even the squash that I cooked, I roasted it in an air fryer. I've slept wrong and woke up hurting. Yeah, I've done that before. Especially I have excess lateral movement in my joints. I forget what it's called. It's a condition. I forget what it's called. But all of my joints will move the wrong way. So not forward and back movements, but side to side movement, and they wiggle too much. And because of that, they will lock um my thumbs, my fingers, my joints, all of them. They will sometimes get locked. And if I sleep on them the wrong way, too far, if I, sleep on my hand, but it gets pushed too far back, then this whole thing will hurt for days, all the way down, because it just got bent in the wrong direction for too long. So yeah. But yeah, I've done that. Thanks for sharing about your bursitis. I'm heavier than I've ever been, and the least act ever my body is pissed off at me. Yeah, and it's hard. It's really hard to lose the weight. I'm gonna tell y'all the secret to weight. I can't tell you the secret to weight loss because they'll probably kick me off of YouTube if I say it out loud. But what is that? The health and fitness people tell you that you cannot out exercise a bad diet. Um, so work on your diet first, and and then think about the exercise. Me too, LP. Um, I have to say I've done really good at keeping the weight off. I lost about 60 pounds. It's been over 5 years, and I've kept that off. And then I lost another 20-ish pounds last year. and I've kept most of that off. I've gained a little bit of it back, but I've it's that's gone up and down. Um, I'm working on getting it back down and keeping it down. But the initial ones, yeah, it was yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, and it was all about diet. Mike says that's when you know when you're getting old, you hurt yourself while sleeping. I've done it. I've done it. I'm telling you, the littlest things you can do that will hurt you. Um, no doubt. I've experienced that many times. I lifted my bird up a bunch of times that afternoon. Only thing other than maybe building up to that. Yep, that might be it. That might be it. Gulf Coast. At my age, I yawn or sneeze. I panic a sec. Glad nothing hurts after. It's like when you had I had what is that thing that you plantar fasciitis or whatever the thing is called that you get on your feet. I had that. It took I probably had it for about 8 months when I had it. It took that long for it to get better. But it was like every day you get up out of bed and you put your feet on the floor and you wait for a second to build yourself up for the pain that you know is about to come. And then you stand up and you wait for a second because it hurts so bad, you just don't want to do anything. And then you make yourself move. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. I went to a podiatrist. I went to my doctor. Everybody, they did all the things, and then I went to the running store. That's right. I went to the running store. It's called Fleet Feet or something like that. And I got fitted for a pair of tennis shoes, and they put me on the machine where you stand there and it tells you where all your pressures are and whether you can pronate or whatever and all of that thing. And then they let you either walk or run on a treadmill so they see what your stride looks like, and they take a bunch of measurements and they put them in a computer, and then they come out with 8 different boxes of shoes and say these are the ones for you. And I tried them all on and until I found a pair that felt good, and I bought them and I wore them every single day, and my feet got better. None of the things that the podiatrist said, none of the thing that the doctor said, none of that helped me going to the running store and getting a pair of tennis shoes and wearing them every single day. I wore them to work. My supervisor said that that's not appropriate attire. Our handbook said we couldn't wear tennis shoes with my uniform. And I said, my feet hurt. And if you want me to come to work, then I'm going to have to wear these shoes or I will be on sick leave because my feet hurt. They're like, okay, you can wear the shoes. Yeah, good for you. I believe you on losing a weight, man. That's real. If you go low carb, you will lose that water weight in a matter of days. It will come off. My GT Junior says I stopped eating bread on 10. Did you, GT? No way. No way, man. Do you feel better? I'm still checking my weight issue little by little. Seriously, GT, did you feel any better? Did you notice a difference at all? In the South, you learn to stay inside in the AC. That is for real. You learn to stay inside and you learn to sit still. You learn to be still because when you move around, you get hot. I'm intrigued at different burns. I was learning that there's a difference between flavor profiles that made me really work to explore peppers more. Yeah, I can't with them. I cannot do the heat. That's good news, GT Junior. I think you will feel better. I haven't used the stove since March. Yeah, that part. But now that it's cooling off, I can actually use it because yeah, that part. Do you have allerdanos? I haven't been diagnosed with that. Um But it's like that. It's very similar to that. It does have the excess lateral movements, and it's the most annoying thing possible because I can easily like roll my ankle, or I can, my knee will pop completely out of joint, which is crazy. Um, it's just crazy things like that can happen. I can hyperextend any joint in my body, that kind of thing. And so it's like, ugh. But it's not as bad as the Daniels, because I mean, some of the people who have that, I know this one person who can ride a bicycle but can't walk, um, because the joint simply won't support walking, but because the bicycle supports it in your body in a different way. So it's like, yeah. I've lost weight many times before, never been a problem, but I've got in a deep rut this time ever since breaking my toe in March. Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, is one little thing can really throw everything else off. That I mean, and it doesn't even have to to be logically related, but yeah. I need to retrain my taste buds, stop procrastinating, and just apply discipline. No, I'm not disciplining myself. Actually, LP, it's not about discipline. I would say it's discipline is part of it, but it's not the main thing. There's a lot of things that the food industry does to us that we don't realize that they're doing. A lot of the foods that we eat are designed to make you want to eat. And so it's more about educating yourself about those things that trigger you to eat more. If you can eat a meal like before I came online, I had some pork. It was roasted pork loin, and it was seasoned with salt and maybe some of my Renaissance grandma's seasoning, maybe the hot cha cha or the smoky greens, whichever one I had. That's about it. When I cooked it, that's all I put in it. I cooked it in a crock pot, so it was, cooked in its own juices, and cooked slow, and it was tender. Um, Before I ate it, I just heated it up and I added a little vinegar to it. Now, that's all I ate. I didn't eat any starch with it, no potatoes, no rice, no pasta, nothing with it. I just ate the meat. I don't and it satisfied me. If I had had that with rice, I would have wanted something else to eat within an hour or two. But because I had just that, I won't want anything else to eat probably until about 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow. But that's the thing about some of the foods we eat. Some of the foods we eat stimulate your appetite. It doesn't mean that you're hungry. Your belly can be absolutely full. Like this is what I say, I always have room for dessert. I always have room for ice cream. It's true. You can be completely full to here, to that part where if you eat one more bite, it just won't go down. But let somebody bring out some ice cream and see if I can't eat it. I can. That is something that our food does to us, that if you realize that that's a trigger for you, then you don't just like, you know what, just don't keep that in the house. Don't have that around, because once I start eating that, I'm going to keep eating, and I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm going to be miserable, but I'm not going to be satisfied. My daughter has that plantar fasciitis. I can't say the word. She's had 3 cortisone shots in 3 years. Poor kid is only 19. She's custom inserts where she was meant to PT. I'm just going to tell you, I had custom inserts too. And finally, I took those things out of my shoes and I went to the running store. Now, I'm not saying that they'll help her. I'm not saying that at all. But those custom inserts, they hurt my feet. But when I went to the running store and got some shoes that didn't hurt my feet, that had that had the right thing in place, and I can't, even though they recommended the ones that for the stability shoe, I can't wear a stability shoe; it's too hard. for me. So I have to wear a neutral shoe. But I got a neutral shoe. I got a good shoe and I wore it every single day. No cute shoes for me, but my feet got better. My feet got better. And you know what I think caused it? This might not be true, but I think it was caused by the elliptical. There's something about you placing your feet on that machine and going in that motion. It's not a normal walking motion where you pick up your feet and you put your heel to toe, or even if you walk flat footed. It's not a normal motion. Your feet don't move in a normal motion. And I think that's what caused it for me. I was doing the elliptical a lot. And once I got my shoes, I got off the elliptical and got on a treadmill and walked on that at an angle. And for some reason, that didn't seem to aggravate it as bad. Now, I may be wrong about that. There's a place here that does testing for shoes. I'm going to try that for her. I'm glad you said it worked for you. It did work for me. It absolutely worked for me. And the shoes that I got were, I think they're called Topo, Topo. I'm looking for them. They should be close. They are close. They're right here. No, they may not work for her. I have a wide foot. Here's the brand. Can y'all see that? I don't know if you can see it or not. Topo. It has a very wide toe box. Very wide toe box. Um, it's a neutral shoe. But they do have a stability one too. That's the one that works for me. It might not work for her, but and they have removable insoles, so you can put a custom orthotic in it if you need to. But I did not use a custom orthotic in mine. I used this one that came in it. And this is my second or third pair of these shoes. Um, when they get wore when they start to get worn out, I'll go get another pair. And I'll let them refit me and I'll try on other ones to see what I like better. There's a couple of brands that I can wear that don't bother my feet. But yeah, if I'm gonna do a lot of walking, those are the shoes I wear. Probably help her a lot. It might. I swear by them. No more Costco hot dogs or pizza. Well, GT Junior, only thing I can say about Costco hot dogs and pizza is that really real food? Did you read the ingredients? Do you know what's in it? You might not want to eat that anyway. Just saying. Just eat the stuff you grow. That part. I'm sorry for your daughter, Gulf Coast. Perhaps she can look around and ask around for other treatments. Cortisone shots, I've heard, can be bad long term. Yeah, I've never had one, so I don't know about cortisone shots. But yeah, that's I believe that the stuff in our foods. That's why I always say I have to retrain my taste buds because right off eating whatever healthy stuff doesn't taste as good. Um, yeah, yeah. We are suspecting due to other problems that my daughter has autoimmune issues. She's going to a rheumatologist in December. We're hoping for some answers. Oof. Have you tried an elimination diet with her? Gold Coast Granny. So true. I could be full and sick and then someone burst out popcorn. There's certain things that you can eat no matter how much you've eaten. That tells you there's something wrong with that food. Food is a drug you must take. That is true. It's an addiction, and it's you can't go cold turkey. Well, I mean, there are some people who claim that they're breatharians, but I don't know any of them personally. Right. You can give up all the other stuff, but you got to eat. Hey, 755 Media, how are you? Thanks for coming in here. I got square Fred Flintstone feet. Hard to get comfy shoes. My feet are almost Flintstone. I have very wide toes. um, which is why for most of my life I've worn men's shoes because they were wide enough for me. I wore men's shoes and boots almost all of my life because I refuse to wear any shoes that squeeze my toes. But like those shoes right there, they have a very wide toe box, um, and they just fit good, but they're not too wide in the heel. That's the other thing. My heels are a normal width, but my toes are wide across the toe. So I have to. It's hard to find a shoe that will fit in the heel, not slip on the heel, but be wide enough in the toe. So Fred Flintstone has square feet for a reason. He's on his feet a lot, man. You got to support that. So many ingredients aren't real. Next time you see spicy snack like chips, popcorn, read the ingredients and tell me if you read any peppers. Right. Do they actually put peppers in there? No. Then what is it? Right. What is it that makes it spicy? Hey, Jessica, how are you? Thanks for coming in. I have suggested elimination diet to her, but she's resistant. She's 19 and still insists on mac and cheese and pizza. Well, yeah, it's hard. It is hard. But there are some kids who have gone on this. Some young people who have gone on the elimination diets and figured out um, what's going on. That's what I was saying. Um, Sometimes it's just a reset. You go if you can eliminate it down to just a very few things for a certain period of time and then start adding back one thing at a time. Like say if you eliminate it, and I don't care whatever it is you want. You if she only ate mac and cheese and she doesn't feel any better, then eliminate mac and cheese and switch that out with, I don't know, rice. And then if the rice gives a problem, switch that out with something else. But if you can eliminate some of those things and then add things back, then you start figuring out what's giving you the problem. um, his wife had, what did he say? She has wide feet and fingers. She has started making better choices. Lost 30 pounds, going to the gym. Yeah, good deal. She has wide feet. Yeah, wide feet fingers. And why don't they use real pepper powder? Why? Because they don't have to. Uh-huh. They don't have to use real food. They just simply have to tell you what they use. Um, Actually, they don't even have to tell you what they use. They can just say flavor and spices, and they can get away with it. They can use pretty much anything they want and call it flavor and spices. Tell you it's proprietary, and that's it. My wife asked if I was going to show the squirrels bopping my toes. I'm like, sure, I don't care if people see my ugly feet. I ain't trying to impress nobody. Mike, you'll get some views from David for sure. Exactly. David who was it? GT Jr. showed his feet. I told him about that. You can't be showing. If she was 10, I could control the diet a lot more. As a 19-year-old college kid and works as rarely home, it's tougher. Yeah, it is. For real though, Mike, I'd like to see squirrels messing with toes. Feet fingers. Ah, they're obsessed, LP. They're obsessed. That is tough, Gulf Coast. Research cortisone shots before she gets another, being as young as she is. I'm not a medical person at all, but my guy looked into them. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's no medical advice being given here. We're just talking about our experiences here. And also check nightshade consumption. Those can cause inflammation, and inflammation creates pain. That is true. Some people are very sensitive to nightshades. Um, so you have to check out that. This is not medical advice. Do your research. This is not even medical. We're not, no, this ain't nothing about medical advice. Wouldn't do that at all. You need to do your own research. Did I show y'all this? This is so cute. I know that was a squirrel moment. That's so funny. I think I'm gonna make another one to go with. I have some orange over here that I can make another one out of. I think I have enough to make another one. So, hey, Bayou, how are you? Hey, Hookin' Good Creations by Tina C. How are you? Where are the rest of the ladies? I'm not sure where everybody is. Thank you, Jessica. Italian call toes, fingers of the foot. Yeah, a lot of people do. Actually, I think I'm trying to think of what the Latin word is. I'm gonna get it wrong, so I'm not gonna say it. I think my languages are getting all mixed up in my head because I think I'm thinking of the French word for fingers and toes and not the Latin words. I'm happy to see you too, Tina. Thanks for coming in. I discovered after making about 10 of those pumpkins that I don't like making pumpkins. You know what? Gold Coast Granny, look at this. You see that stitch? It's not the one they call for. That's an extended single crochet. I don't really care for pumpkins, but I just wanted to make one. Um, and I liked it after I made the one, and so I thought I would make another one to go with. So I just have a pair of them, so I can put them, on a corner somewhere like that. But I don't want an orange one, so I'm not sure what color I'm going to use. I do have a little bit of this color left, but not enough. So I might make a green one because I have some green. I don't know. I got some colors over here. And then I've also got this. Y'all know what this is. This is my loose ends ball. All of the colors that all of the colors, all of the ends of all the things that I've been working on, I just put them in this ball. So once I get it down to just a little bit, I put them on there when it's not big enough for any single project. So I might make something out of that. It's a cute pumpkin. Thank you. Yeah, it's the extended single crochet where you anyway, if you're not familiar with that stitch, I can't really tell you much about it. It's probably around somewhere though. But it looks like a knit stitch. I would like to make a hat using it. Um but it does use a lot of yarn. I'm trying to remember why I did it that way. Oh, I did it that way because I did it in the round. Did I do it in the round? Yeah, I did it in the round. And the pattern calls for you to do it back and forth. Yeah, back and forth. But I didn't. I did it in the round. So that's why I did that stitch. Because that's the way I wanted to look. Thank you, Tina. I like the extended stitch. Yeah. And I also made I need to bring it out at some point. I made a neck sock using an extended, it was an extended, I don't know what it was, honestly. I would say it was an extended half double, but it wasn't really. So I don't know what it's really called. Yeah, I made it in the round. I did it that way, and then I made it as tall as I wanted it, and then I closed both ends. So I made it the width I wanted it because I knew I was going to close the ends up, and so no increases or decreasing, but just straight that way, but in the round. See? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, can't you make hat close? I think I can make a hat like this. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Only reason I haven't tried it is because it uses a whole lot of yarn. And if I was gonna make a hat like that, I probably would just go ahead and knit it because knitting doesn't use that much yarn at all. In fact, I might do that. I might do that. See? It's like squirrel. That was another squirrel moment. My brain went boop. um Latin for fingers, digitorum, Latin for toes, digipedis. Okay, I think I was thinking French, but I'm not for sure because my brain gets languages mixed up really bad. I don't know why. Phalanges. What's the word phalanges? That's the word I was thinking about. Phalanges. The bones in the fingers and toes. That's where I was thinking of. It's the same word for fingers and toes for the bones. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. I shouldn't have picked up my phone. I picked up my phone to look at it to look up a word and then I got distracted. We learned Latin like a week. I loved it. So I went to forestry school and you know, we had to learn the Latin names for all the plants, all the trees and all of the shrubs and all the grasses and the herbs and the woody plants. So, yeah. And because of that, when we took entomology, which is the study of insects, um, forest entomology specifically, um, our professor made us learn Latin roots and combining forms. So the funny thing about that is it has done me so well over the years figuring out what things mean, because if it's a word that's from the Latin and you see the root or you see an ending or something, you can piece it together. Well, that part means this and this part means this. If you put that together, then that probably means that, and so you have an idea what the meaning is. Um, but yeah, and we had the index cards that you were flipping through, learning those combining forms because it was a lot of them, and you learning those Latin roots is like was a lot of them. So yeah, yes, I did finish my 30 hats in 30 days. Washed them up, packed them up, and dropped them off at the church um, for donation. And then I decided I'm probably going to do 20 more, make it 50. Because I have more yarn to use up. So I don't know. That's not a hard target, a hard goal. It's just that I've got some more yarn to use up, so I'm probably going to do some more. I think we have a deadline of November the 9th. I think it's the last day to for the that particular donation. Latin helps so much in understanding English and other Romance languages. Yeah, there's this method of language learning called language transfer. It's available on YouTube and it's free. You can download the audio for it. And basically, when you start trying to learn words, it'll tell you all of these words in English are from the Latin. And so, if it's a Latin based language, the words are going to be pretty much the same in both languages. The only difference is the pronunciation. And so, what it does is that it makes you realize that you already have an extensive vocabulary in several languages based on words that are the same. And so this word means the same thing, it's from the same root language, and the only difference in, say, Spanish and English is the pronunciation. For example, loyal. The word loyal is from the Latin, and in English is loyal, and in Spanish is loyal. Royale. Same, same. And so you start doing that. I only finished 25 hats, but I'm not on a deadline. Yeah, same. The first time. That's awesome, Felicia. Oh, that's exciting. Latin helps understanding. Um, Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. I can read Roman numbers at least to this day. Yeah, I can still read Roman numbers mostly. I'm tipping over my bucket of potatoes tomorrow. Hope there are potatoes in the bucket. There will be potatoes in the bucket. I'm going to speak truth to that. There will be potatoes in the bucket. No. I don't know how many. I don't know how big they'll be, but there will be potatoes in that bucket. I only finished. Yeah. Yes. It's your first time. That's exciting. That is exciting. I got 755 the garden bug. Okay. I think, Mike, we've done our jobs. We've passed it on. We've passed on the bug to other people. Yeah. Official Jamia is harvesting from her garden and excited. She's a whole farmer now. I'm believing for the potatoes. That's right. We are believing for the potatoes. Although, Gulf Coast Granny, I'm gonna have to tell you, like I tell my sons, your belief in the thing has no relation whatsoever to the reality of the thing. It doesn't affect it at all. You can believe all you want, but the reality is still the reality. But belief is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it doesn't really impact the reality. I used to have a huge garden back in Michigan. Those were the days. Ooh, no, those weren't the days. Not in Michigan. Those were not the days. Hey, Miss Georgia Peach, now how are you? Thanks for coming in. One of us, one of us, one of us. Oh, no, that's not what how the song goes, Mike. The song says they not like us. That's what it says. They not like us. I see dead people. Wait, what? 755 got the garden bug? Yes. Yes. Mike is speaking. How did you learn so much about gardening and herbs? Who are you talking to, hon? I just never grew in buckets before now. Okay. It's cool to see the new people gardening. It really is. It's exciting to see people growing food, especially small space gardening. It's just really it's exciting to see people who weren't growing, who were saying, "I live in an apartment. Um, I don't have a balcony. I don't da 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 da. I don't have any space. Da da da." Da," and then they're growing food and they're doing this like that's so exciting. How did you learn so much about gardening and herbs? Hello, oh, not the days in Michigan. No, those were not the days. Okay, they might have been the days. They might have been the days, but Michigan. Oh, hey now, I'm Michigan and the gardening is great here, but not right now. I'm cold for you. I read your temperatures and I shiver. That part. If you were talking about me, about how I learned about gardening and herbs, I grew up with it. Went foraging for goldenrod, and now I'm suffering with allergies. Honey, I was looking at you out there, and I was thinking, there's a lot of stuff out there that ain't goldenrod. She probably should have had a mask on. Goldenrod is fine, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is not goldenrod that's around you that might pick up your allergies. Fall allergies are no joke, but the goldenrod can help with it. You a degree cooler than me right now, GT. Okay. It's pretty cool to know 7 5 used to have a big garden, so you have the knowledge. Yes, it is. We cold, man. Wow, we cold, man. Oh, you was asking me the question. So, for gardening, I just grew up with it. My dad um had we probably had about 3/4 of an acre that was in garden. We probably had a couple of I think our lot was probably a couple acres big, and probably 3/4 of it was in garden. He had a tractor um, that he plowed it with, and a tiller and all of that stuff. We had a really good size strawberry patch that, I mean, really good size. I'm trying to remember how big it was. Ooh, probably 20 by maybe 20 by 20 strawberry patch. Um, Might have been even bigger than that. My dad was pretty much an herbalist. I don't think they used that term back then, but he had a tea for everything. And he told, he was a hunter. He was out in the woods. We walked the woods together. He showed me plants. He taught me plants. He told me what the plants were for. He made the teas with the plants, the roots, the stem, the bark, the flowers. Um, he told me, how to make the teas and stuff. And so I learned a lot of it from my dad. My auntie, whew, my aunties, great aunts, my dad's aunts were also herbalists. They were the people that people went to see if they had, sick child, if someone was sick in the house, and they would give them the herbs, the teas, or whatever to make for them. So yeah, that was basically how I learned gardening. We grew in ground mostly, but we did grow in some buckets and containers, and other certain things were that way. Um, so that's pretty much how I learned. I've grown things all of my life, and even when I left home, I would grow. When I was in apartments, I would grow in containers, in flower pots. When I moved into homes, even rental properties where other people planted flowers, I planted peppers and tomatoes. If I had the space for a garden, I had an in-ground garden. If I didn't have a space, I'd have, um, flower pots. What are those things called? The long ones. Anyways, I have those. I'd plant. So yeah, it was the days. My phone says it's 36. Ugh, that's just cold. That's just wrong. It was the days I owned my own house with a yard. Not so much now. Now you tell me. Well, where the one that was on the bridge was pretty much by itself, but the ones that were down the way had a lot of different stuff growing around it, and I really couldn't identify that um from the distance what it was. And that's the problem with goldenrod. That it really is a problem with goldenrod. Goldenrod often grows in the same area as ragweed and other things. People can be highly allergic to ragweed, and so you have to be careful. Gulf Coast Granny says, "I saw you harvesting that goldenrod in the forest." I have a field here that's near the church that I don't know, several acres that they bush hog every year, and it's pretty much solid goldenrod. I can go out there and harvest from the edges of that and not really get into anything else. But the goldenrod that I have at my house, there's nothing around it but goldenrod. So yeah, frost over here. Mike, stop. Y'all gonna see me wrap up in a minute because every time he talks about it, I get cold. I get cold. I get cold. I get cold. Mike's asked, did I forage on the job? Yes and no. I've always kept on when I was working, I always had Ziploc bags with me and a pocket knife. So if I saw something that I wanted a cutting of, yes, I would get a cutting of. If I saw something um that was not um that was abundant, then I may will get some of it. But you really where I was working, you have to have a permit um to forage for certain plants. And so a lot of times you couldn't forage for them. But there were certain things like um, toothache grass. It was abundant. And so I always would grab up some toothache grass. Bay leaves, the bay trees, ugh, you working in the swamps anyway, and the bays grow down there. There was never a time when I didn't come out of the field with, a handful of bay leaves because you're working there every day, taking a few leaves off of a few trees. No, yeah. So yeah, I did forage on the job. Some of the things, um, like mullein, I wish I had gotten more of that. I've gotten some leaves of it from time to time, but I've never gotten a whole plant. I never got the seeds. I wish I'd gotten seeds from time to time on certain things, but some things I did get seeds of. There was a lot of stuff that was, there was a lot in the forest. There's a lot when you work in the forest every day. Um, you always you're coming across things all the time. I was always marking stuff on the map where I find stuff so I could come back, and go on a hike on a weekend and come back and get that. Yeah. Sounds like you had an amazing dad. Yeah, I did. It's 52 here in Arkansas. Ooh, 52. I'm glad I'm inside. I love that you grew up with your daddy teaching you. Yeah. Yeah. At the time, I did not probably didn't appreciate it as much as I did later in life. Because some of the stuff that he had me drinking was just nasty. You know, some of the teas that it was like you didn't want to get sick because if you got sick, no matter what it was, there was a tea that you were going to have to drink. You might end up going to the doctor, but you were going to have to drink that tea and it was going to be nasty. There was one herb called gall of the earth. It's bitter. It's so bitter. And he put it in everything. You were going to drink that because it would just cure whatever. And so yeah, you don't appreciate it at the time, but it's probably the reason I ended up going into forestry because, hanging out with him, hanging out, being outside with him, going, tromping through the woods with him, learning beside him. That was, what I did as a little kid. And so, it was like, yeah, I can do this. My great granny taught me nearly everything I know about gardening and nature. I miss her terribly some days, but I always find her when I'm in my garden. Yeah, yeah, same. And that's the same with, I think about it with my dad. Growing up, we had, all the vegetables that everybody grew, um, pole beans and corn and peanuts, watermelons, cantaloupes, all kinds of melons, um, greens, all kinds of greens, um, carrots. I loved to go in the garden um, and get carrots and just brush them off on your clothes and eat them, dirt and all. So yeah, out there. But we had chickens, and so we had fresh eggs. Like I said, we had a big strawberry patch. We had grapes, 4 or 5 different kinds of grapes, blueberries, figs, pecans, pears, apples. We didn't have a plum tree, but the neighbor across the road did. We didn't have a peach tree. Dad just said that peaches didn't grow well there. And so, because I asked, why don't we have a peach tree? Because we love peaches, and he always bought them by the bushel. So there was that, and but we never did have a peach tree. But we had, fruit trees, blueberries. I'm trying to think of what else we had. All kinds of stuff. Muscadines. Um, we had purple grapes, white grapes, um, um, red grapes, muscadine grapes. Um, but yeah, a lot of stuff. Just a lot of food we had growing up. Um, 4-H was a thing back in the day. My brothers were in 4-H. I never was in 4-H, but they were, and they did the whole strawberry thing. In fact, they're probably most of the strawberries that were grown in our neighborhood, probably within a 5-mile radius. My brothers sold them. They raised them and sold the plants to the people who grew them because that's what they did. Um, so yeah. Annoying part, 2 days low, 30, but after back in the 50s. Okay. Yeah, that's the part about it here too. We're gonna get down to the 30s for one day, then it'll be back up. And like we were at 80 today. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we were closer to 90 next week. So yeah. Thank you for sharing your story and for sharing your knowledge. Oh, you're welcome. And the funny thing is, I grew up with that. Um, But my sister doesn't garden, but she also didn't grow up with that. It's so funny. We grew up in the same household. I hung out with dad. She hung out with mom. So she did all the indoor things. I did some of both, but she did not do the outdoor things. She didn't go fishing with dad. She didn't, go. She didn't go hunting with dad. She didn't hang out with him when he was, stomping around the woods or whatever. She didn't do those things. And so, and I mean, she worked in the garden. We all worked in the garden because you had to. It was part of you wanted to eat, then you had to help harvest and and process whatever, prepare the foods and put up the foods. My mom, canned everything. So you had to do that one. She had to do that because that was just part of it. But when it comes down to it, she's like, Psh, I ain't gardening. Now she has something growing this year. I don't know what she said. She did plant something in some containers at her house this year. So, but yeah, someone got the one at the bridge. Yeah, somebody recognized it and said, "Oh, that's mine." That's mine. Ooh, Jessica SMC said frost here tomorrow. Weather for Arnold. Conditions are cloudy with a temperature of 47 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the east at 2 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 75%. Uh, Frost here tomorrow night. 755 Media speaking to Miss Beechnut. That's cool. Hello, L Medicine. Right. It's an interesting and cool history, FR, with your dad being an herbalist. I mean, they didn't call it that back then, but he had his books, his reference books, and he knew his plants. And he, like I said, he was always collecting something. Peach tree leaves are for that, and blueberry leaves are for that, and white pine bark is for this, and you know, this plant used for that. He had mint growing. We had a big old mound of mint. It had about 5 or 6 different varieties of mint in it. And the only way it was contained, because when you mowed the grass, you knew where the edges were and you mowed the edges of it. But it was everywhere. It just spread everywhere. But he grew a lot of herbs and he foraged a lot of herbs. Um, but like Wow. Solomon Seal and false Solomon Seal. I remember him showing me those. Just lots of little things. Even things, that you can eat in the forest that are, plants that are edible that, most people don't eat, but you can eat in the forest. He would show me those different things that you would see. So this sound nice and perhaps it'll be in your future again, should you so desire it. I hear you in the cold front, Mike. we're experiencing something similar. I harvested a bunch of peppers, but decided then to move some into the garage. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about 38. What do I have out there that's super sensitive to the cold? And do I care? That's what. Do I care? Okay. Good night, Tina. She says, good night. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Take care of everyone reading this. Okay. Good night. You have a good evening, Tina. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. If I had a heated garage, I'd bring in my trash can. I'd bring in my trash can pepper. I don't have a heated garage. Well, you guys get much colder than I do. I don't have a heated garage, but one of the things about the garage is that it's a heat sink. So on the nights where it's just a frost, if it's a frost, bringing it into the garage, the concrete floor will keep the heat enough heat in there to so that the tender tissues won't freeze. Now, once it gets lower than that, when it gets really, really cold, yeah, it's not gonna help. But but what I found is the patio is a good heat sink. So stuff that's not on the patio, I will bring it to the patio, and next to the house. The Because my house is brick, but the brick of the house and the patio are heat sinks. And so even the temperature's just dropping to freezing, or if it's just going to be a light frost, sometimes I'll just bring them on the patio, and that'll be enough of a temperature variant that they won't freeze, and especially for those nights where it's not a hard freeze, where it's only going to get down to those low temperatures for an hour or less. In my fall winter garden, if it lives, I eat it. If it dies, I pull it out and compost it. Same. If it lives, I eat it. If it dies, I pull it out and put something in its place that will live. Yeah, my garage isn't heated either. Yeah, I haven't put my garlic in yet, and so I need to go in and figure out what garlic I'm going to plant and get that in the ground, and that means I'm going to have to pull up something to make room for it because there's no room out there. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to give a 10-minute warning. I'm going to get off of here at 1 10 minutes. Okay, more or less 12 minutes. I'm gonna get off of here at 1. But yeah, with the cold temperatures coming, um, are y'all prepared for are you prepared? Also, Mike and GT are doing the WIG 2024. The start date is December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they put out the videos yet, but I'm sure the videos are coming. Are you guys ready for that? I have a oh, I almost forgot to tell y'all. Um, Dang it, Mike, can you? I don't know if you can. Let me see if I can find it. Um, okay, let me finish a sentence, okay? Y'all see how I get? WIG 2024 coming up. The day is December 1st. Are you going to be in it? Say yes. Do you have plans to be in it? Say yes. What are you going to grow? Tell me, what are you going to grow? GT says, I have to harvest potatoes, carrots, and horseradishes tomorrow. Okay, I have a few garlic in the ground. I'm going to experiment and leave them as is. I have some that I left out there from last year. I don't know where they are. They may be rotten. They may be Actually, some of them are growing. But I do. But the others, I'm going to plant some more for this year. WIG is winter indoor gardening. Thank you, GT, because I was going to call it something else. Winter indoor gardening. Um, and join in. And the rules are pretty Straightforward. You just have to grow something inside. And you have to show a video showing you does it have I think it has to be from seed. I don't think it can be from cuttings, but it has to be from seeds, and you have to do a video showing you starting it, and I think harvesting or at the end or the time or whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know what the rules are. Mike and or GT generally will do a video at the beginning showing that. Give me a second. Let me look up something, see if I can get this to work. I was gonna tell y'all about this thing that I saw. Um, and then I forgot about it, and then I thought about it again. And so I would tell you, give me just a second so I can find it. Um, let me see if I can drop a link to this. I'm looking to see if I can find a link, and the link is going to be crazy long, of course. Oh, let me see if I can do this. It's just making me crazy. I found it. Let me get my link into your long link here. Paste. Customize your link here. Shorten it here. Copy it here. And let me see. I don't even know who I'm logged on as. Am I logged on as me? Y'all, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I promise. I'm getting there. Okay. Let's see. I'll do a video by November 1st. Blah, blah, blah. Paste. And let me check it and see if it works. Open in a new tab. Come on. All right. It worked. Okay. Let me get all the way back over to StreamYard. Ugh, it took a minute. Okay. I dropped the link. The Mike, check that link and see if it works. It's on sale. It's $10 off. It's regular 49 and it's on sale for 39. The MUFGA Mufga 12 pod hydroponic growing system is on sale for 20% off for $39.98, regularly $49.99. You heard it first here. You heard it first here. I just wanted to say that again. Don't say that I didn't tell y'all when I found a deal. Yeah, it's on sale. I think I bought it for 49. I might have bought it for 39. I don't know. I might get another one. Who knows? But there you go. Even one plant on a Sunday window sill in a solo cup will work. Yeah. I have to wait until my daughter moves out before I can garden indoors. I grew a pepper in a vitamin bottle 1 year in water. Put water in it, and I had one of the cups from the hydroponic unit, and it fit perfectly on the top. And I grew a leisure pepper in there, and it was good. It grew one pepper before it died. It gave me one pepper before it died. I was happy with that though. So yeah. I mean, I grew other stuff too, but that was one of the things I did grow. I just wanted to see if I could grow it in a vitamin bottle. It was a bottle about yay big. Um, um, I don't remember what vitamin it was in it, and yeah, and I did have a grow light sort of. It wasn't for real a grow light, but it was next to the hydroponic unit, so it got enough light. And I did have one of the. Actually, I had one of those other lights on a tripod, clip to a tripod, which yeah, I'm gonna do some different things for that. But anyways, um, it doesn't have to be anything big, but grow some food. We had people do that and get food. It was so exciting. It works. Yes, I got one this week. You got another one, Mike. Mike, how many units do you have? Really? I think you and Roe, you grow Roe, need to go to a 12-step program because Rose got a habit. It's called green stalk, and you've got a habit. It's called hydroponic units. Don't tell nobody I said it out loud. Okay, I'm gonna buy that. Yeah, 39.98 is the price I purchased them at. I get one every time they're on sale. Um, so I have one. I think I did a video on the one I have right now. Actually, I have three going right now. In one of them, I just dropped seeds not too long ago, and I have red clover. Don't ask me why. Celery. I don't think it came up. Basil. Um, holy basil. I don't think it came up. And something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, some more holy basil. That I think that did come up in that one. And the other one I have red mustard that's grown out. I can pick leaves off of it already. And a tomato that's got blooms on it. And then the other one, I have a tomato and a tomato cutting. I took a cutting off the tomato and put it in one of the other slots because the tomato was getting too big, and I'm ready for it to. I'm ready to get rid of the bigger one and have a smaller one and let it grow some. And I've already harvested off of that tomato like twice this summer, and it's got tomato plants. It's got fruit on it now. They're green, but yeah. Um, some micro dwarf tomatoes. I have none. Micro dwarf tomatoes. Okay, the one that I've got in there is the geranium kiss, and I'm not sure where I got it. I might have got it from Mike. But every I don't care whether it's a dwarf or micro dwarf, they always grow too big in those units. For real, for real. So yeah. I grow peppers in all of mine. Yeah. Peppers are good. I grew the lemon spice pepper. Mike tells me that's not what it was, but I'm saying that's what it was. Good thing you said I was about to steal your box. I could use this to start seeds, then plant outside. You can. Um, I, I haven't had a lot of luck with doing that, but some people have. I'm not really good with transplanting plants. Wherever I plant them is where I generally grow them. Um, I only tried orange hat. I wasn't impressed indoors. I grew green stalk this summer to see what I thought they were better outside. Okay. Yes. Yes. I sent you a pack of geranium kits. Well, that's what I'm growing, and they're good. I like them. I bought some of those microdwarfs once, lost the seeds. Really, you have microdwarf seeds for real? That's what's up, Mike. I do have some micro dwarfs too. I every time when I won on what's the name of that Fun Day Sunday, I always would ask for dwarf. And so I've got several packs of dwarf tomatoes from him. And I don't know why his name. Oh, Garden State Gardener. I'm like, I don't know why his name escapes me now. But anyway. All right, guys. I'm gonna cut it short here. Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Anybody on the replay crew that has got this far, I love you much. And I will see you next week. I think same bat time, same bat place. If I'm not going to be on, I'll put it on my community tab. Good night, y'all. Oh, can I do that? There you go. Night, everybody. Deuces.